I am back once again with Product Like It's Friday, even though it's Saturday. And this would have been now the seventh day in a row that I'm live streaming, probably around, 1.5 to 2 hours a day it's been so far. Um, and where we left off the last time I was coding, I started a refactoring of the database library. I picked SQLize and then I gave SQLize another chance. And then I finished off by replacing SQLize altogether with Keasley, and now that's my database interfacing library in the back end. And that took about 2 days, or 4 hours or what have you, around that time, 3 hours actually. So, and then where we left off with the Friday episode, the official Primetime Friday episode, was Mary guiding us through, taking us from sort of this values or words that we care about exercise into the actual design. And then she picked, actually go here, she picked one of the main screens around which we can develop, and started going a little bit higher fidelity in deciding, maybe playing around with some fonts, playing around with the colors. And so I believe, where would I go? Where would it be? Is it in Discovery? Is it in UI Exploration? No, I know somewhere here, in Components, is we have the color scheme, which I really like. And my goal today is to, functionally, I had come to this screen over here where the game's being played and had some questions around how exactly that game would end. For example, if everybody got the question wrong, my assumption is that the game continues until there's one winner, or until people decide, yeah, we're done, like it's over. And once that happens, we should see some kind of leaderboard where we can see the people remaining in the game, the winners essentially. And ideally, I'd like to get to the leaderboard and start coding it at least. I might not finish it, but at least I want to finish off the game flow and then get into working on the leaderboard. But before I do that, I guess I want to get into a couple things. I don't like, you know what? I haven't even been sharing my screen, and I've been like, so let me do that again. What a disaster. Let me share my screen. I thought my screen was on because this is the view that I have most time. Okay, so we ended up, where was I? Right. So with Mary, we took this screen over here, which is the main sort of turned loop screen, which the app will spend most of its time on this screen as every bee comes up to answer the questions. And Mary had taken this screen and then started working from what she'd put together in terms of fonts, icons, and the color scheme. This is the color scheme that I quite like. And we'd gotten to this stage where she'd start to put together some of the elements on the screen, and we were experimenting and playing around with fonts, and she was trying to play with the icons and the colors and so on. And then I think I had a challenge for her in the form of saying, like, how can we get the timer in a bit sooner, maybe? Because from a student perspective or from a player perspective, the lock and the answer is really sort of more procedural. They don't really care about this, and it's taking up a lot of center space. Really, what they would care about is perhaps the timer and how much time they have to answer this question. And this is more for the facilitator to progress the game. So that's where we ended off on Friday. And then the day before, I had finished off pretty much my database refactoring. So it landed me here, and I have some questions here where how does the game finish? What happens in the edge case where everybody gets the question wrong? And then kind of we can still force finish the game even if there isn't a single winner. But if there's only one person remaining, then we automatically go to the leaderboard. And my goal is to be able to do the leaderboard. Great. I feel silly for not having shared my screen, but here we are. But like I said, before I get into coding heavily, I do want to talk about two things. One, I would love to start maybe implementing some of these colors because I am not a fan of the green here. Let me actually make this a bit larger, both for myself and for the tubes. And then I want to, one of the things I have been liking in the streaming process is I do very little prep, right? Sometimes I'm not even thinking about what I'm going to do next precisely, and I'm letting the last session decide and guide me forward. It's helpful that we planned out the wireframe, so I kind of have an idea, and wherever I left off, I continue. And then I'm purposely not doing any research or any learning outside of this because I want to, because I don't want homework, like it would otherwise feel like a burden. But I'm also now getting comfortable with trying to figure things out as I'm live, even if it means awkward pauses and me feeling silly, and getting just used to the process of figuring things out as I go, learning them as well. Does it make for good television? Who knows? Okay, so let me get around creating a new game. And then I'll start and I'll kind of go through the rounds, just make sure things are still working, right? So I get it correct. We're going to move on to Mary, lock in the answer. She gets it incorrect. Someone else comes up and they get it correct. And now the people moving on, and it'd be nice to see who will move on. Right, so it'd be nice to see who's remaining in the game. And one of the things about that icon thing I'm realizing now is it's not clear who's still in the game, who remains. And maybe something like what Mary had. I'm not sure how I would get there, but maybe I can open it up in a different window and drag it in. Is some of the other games that Mary had taken screenshots of to see what elements we like and don't like. I did like kind of the list of names being explicit. So let's see how that plays out now that I'm sort of revisiting it. And we'll build this. Honestly, I feel like it still would be interesting to build something like this. But should we always have a list of names? Or once we get to the turn, we go to this mode. And then when we're at the next round screen, here where we're about to begin the round, we should know who's remaining, maybe even who's eliminated with their name crossed out. So these sort of ideas are emerging at this stage. But again, not a major concern for me. I'm in a state where no players are left and the game is still continuing, so I need to make that work. But first, like I said, let me get into Nux UI and see what I need to do in order to change the colors, because I have no idea. There's a theme area. And let me make this larger as well. And I should be able to change the colors this way. But looking at this, it's not immediately clear to me the idea of a primary color. Okay, so there it is. It seems like primary is assigned to green, and uses the default color for components. And the primary color is the one I want to change. But obviously, I don't want to make something called green into the orange or yellow colors we have, I believe. So yellow is the primary and orange is the secondary. And they have primary and secondary here. And so ideally, I would get those set up. And how do I configure primary? There we go. So I can select a primary and configure the primary this way with, let's say, a yellow. And then my yellow can my yellow can be this, and I might have to figure out what the range of colors should be. I know there's a bunch of tools online that you kind of give it your main color and it generates a range of other colors that fit the Tailwind naming scheme. So I'll probably try and use that. But otherwise, I might just, and then one of the things that's crossing my mind is, do I want a different yellow from, like, I think the warning, and maybe I still want to use success, info, warning, and error, and just have it be the default colors. And like, should I create a brand yellow, like a yellow? I think I want a yellow and I want a brand yellow, and the default yellow is just generic yellow, whatever yellow means to the world. So I'll try and do that. And note how I'm just like not jumping into the code, because every time I feel like I start a stream, I'm a bit there's some hesitancy for me to just jump right into the code. But let's go next config. Because I think secretly at some level, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to change code and deal with bugs and look stupid. And so here we are. So I'm in my app.config.ts, which I don't have. So where does that live? You can configure these runtimes alias in your app.config.ts file. I'm pretty sure I don't have an app.config.ts file. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Here we go, like right away. What is it? Where is this file? Next, config.ts. You just have to make sure to define them in the UI theme colors option in your next config.ts. You can add your own dynamic color aliases. So next would look like this. Next config UI theme colors. And then, so they define a tertiary. There's no tertiary here. And then in some app config, is app.config.ts a generic next file that I'm not aware of? Yeah, it is. That's why. I just didn't know about it. And where does it go? It just seems like it's main root level file. To expose reactive configuration within your application. Reactive configuration, what does that mean? Ability to update it at runtime or using an Next plugin and edit it with HTML. You can easily provide runtime app configuration. I see. And I guess plugins can edit the app config. I don't quite get it, but I think I don't need to. I don't need to understand everything. I just need to understand enough that it exists so I can try and move forward. So configuration. It seems here I can get away. So this is the case where they're adding a tertiary. So I just scroll too fast. And then now you need to define a tertiary here. For me, I just need something like this. And since I don't have an app.config, let me create that and copy what they have. And then I want to change secondary. And my primary is going to be brand yellow. I'm not sure yet that I can use dashes, so we'll find that out. And then I want brand orange. And now I have to go define these somewhere. And that might, it might look like this. And this here is in our theme file in our main.css. So let me get to my theme file in the main.css, let me create the theme portion. Does it know what to do? No, it doesn't know what to do. And then color, can I just do brand dash yellow and it knows what to do? Unclear. And then how does it know which one of these is the button color? Like which one of these is the main button color? I don't know. Okay, so let's find out all of that bit by bit. And I'm a bit hesitant to give it too much time because I don't want to get stuck in this loop of trying to figure this out for too long. UI primary. So you can change which shade is used for each color. That's light or dark. UI primary. Right, so I guess you define which level is like the primary one, so I can define that here. So I feel like that should work. And again, I'm sort of hesitant again, which means I should just do it. So dash color brand yellow. So in this case, like I do want to do like a brand yellow 50, and that should be something, and then 100, and that should be something. But before I do that, I need to understand what this color is. That's this color. And then that's copied to clipboard. And then I want to do tailwind color scheme generator. Yeah. Seem to be a few. Oh, no, this is the same one. This is the same as this one. Tints. Palette. Palette is the right word. Tailwind ink. Let me see if something else comes up with palette. Seems to be the same Tailwind shades as the new one. Otherwise, yeah, they're the same ones. And then I can now come in here and say, this is my primary. Generate. Oh, okay, cool. And I can add a secondary scale as well. I cannot add a secondary scale. Ladies and gentlemen, secondary scale, not allowed. So this, I wonder how it decides which sort of number is your primary one. I can save this, edit. No, I cannot edit. Can I export? I can export, how kind. And this would be the what I want. And so here I can take this and replace it. And then I can probably go sun glow and change this to brand yellow, and then change all of them to brand yellow. And I'm just remembering my main one is 300. Main color. Okay, that doesn't like it. It should be there. Okay. Yeah, is there a single line CSS comment? I don't remember. Okay, so that's that. Wait a minute. What am I doing? Let's see what the other ones are. Maybe the other ones are a bit more expansive. So in this case, I guess I'm getting to choose which level my main one in, and it adjusts the color cycle. So I can see like, hey, how much darker would we go with this color anyway? And what does that mean? So maybe a 500 scale is better. Let's just see. Honestly, this scale looks very different from this one. Like the darker ones here look. These ones, I'm not gonna lie, these ones seem more appealing to the eye. And I wonder what Mary would think about some of this stuff. But I'm just gonna, I'm just filling this, the variables in, and then this looks, what am I doing here? This looks like I need a PhD to understand what's happening. But okay, let's give it a shot. I am no closer. Sorry, I'm no closer to understanding what should happen here. I shall not be taking your degree course today. I see. This is the range. This is the range, and this is a graph. And I don't know what these are though. Is that right? So if I control Z this will change that range. But this is too complex for me. You do need a number here. Yeah, you do. And then when I click here, you create it. And they also use 500. And let me see if the color scheme here looks nicer than this one. I don't dislike this too. This is very sort of honey essence feel, though darker here. But this color, for example, in this one, like my eyes like it. This feels like we're deviating away from the honey colors. These do not look honeyish. So definitely this, although this is very pleasant, no doubt. And here, maybe it's like the dark against this color. It just seems still nice. I don't dislike it, but I feel like I'm gravitating towards this one. Let me copy the URL as well and get that into the code so it can be like, taken from. I did not devise this on my own. No. Oh yeah, this is what I would want. I wonder if they have show graphs. This is smart, right? Like, where are the graphs? Where are they? I don't know. Do you see graphs? It's just I don't see graphs, right? Are these the? Let's forget it. Okay, so do they have? What are these? No. Just trying to see if they have something other than this. Doesn't seem like that is the case. And 500 is my main color in this one. Let me just see what happens at 300 again. Yeah. 400. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't know. I'm not an expert. Or even, okay, so, but I feel like I want this. Oh, interesting. Oh, look how still honey-like these are. I'm gonna stay with the dark ones. I wonder whether this would also influence Mary's concern for, or not concern, but just thoughts on like, should the deep charcoal be related to the brand yellow or should it be different? No idea. Okay. Yeah, I mean, should I be spending like 20 minutes upstart to try to figure out and align with the colors? Yes, absolutely. Because then it just becomes the app. Remember, this is what we look like right now. So this is worth it. I just wish it gave me the colors and the format. That's fine. It does. I miss it. It was just hard to see. Okay. And they know it's brand. Like they know what's up. So let's change this up and let me make sure I am tense.dev. Let me indicate my main color. It's 500. And let me write that down here for clarity because, if people don't know. And then I want this to be brand yellow. So, okay. Got it. First try. And then let's get our secondary color. This fella. And we'll use the same tints tool. And maybe it will be nice to us. That is a drastic error. I apologize. Like I feel like I need to apologize for how drastic that error was. Let's see if we can't. And 500 is our orange. Let me see whether like something like this matters. And for some reason, I kind of want like this range in the oranges. I don't know why. It's just a feeling, which might be the wrong feeling. And I'm okay with that. And this is also 500. Well, let's see what happens. Whoa. Not against it. Also not against it. Also not against it. What do I know? So let's just stay in this range. And let's just go for it. Okay, so just going to copy these, and these will become my brand oranges. And I'm going to state where I still don't, even know if any of this will work. So I apologize in advance. Oops, and main brand yellow, just to be explicit, I'm realizing. And main orange, burnt orange. Nope, so close. Maybe I should increase the size of this. You'll deal with it. Zoom into your screens. Okay, why do I have to zoom in? Do some work. Okay, that's fine. So now we got our colors. My colors are defined here. My assumption is by default it does pick up 500 as the central generic color. Will it blend? Is this enough for things to function? Let's find out. And going back. Yes. Now, because of what our brand colors are, it's hard for me to tell if this is like the yellow or the orange because I'm bad. But additionally, we want to bring that charcoal in. And I'm glad it worked off the bat, which just verifies sort of this being enough. And I like that. And now I recall if I need to add another color, I need to neutral. I think that is what Mary had said would be neutral. So this will be my neutral, this charcoal. And then I can bring this here, and I apologize, web application. And then instead of 500, what happens if I say 900 to this one? Right, because maybe this range going down is more important. I could even say 950, I think. And because like how much darker are you going to get this, then yeah, like what are we doing here? What is the meaning of life in this area, really? So I'm actually happy to go 950 straight up. We get the range of these colors if necessary. And yeah, and I can just call this neutral. Let's keep it by neutral. Neutral, and I guess I'll call this brand charcoal. So I'm still staying with that brand theme. No, oops. Copy this. And brand charcoal, and we'll get it everywhere. And specify that our main one is actually 950, or like, I don't know if it's a main one necessarily, but main brand charcoal is 950. Okay. Happy with that. Now I need to make my text color by default, kind of that brand charcoal. This is interesting. So text primary, text this, text that, that's fine. I am unclear on how that, like for example, I modified my primary color and my primary color is lighter than your generic primary color would be. So I need my text on there to be darker. And I don't know if there's any indication of like me setting up a default. Oh, wait a minute. Neutral, comprehensive set of tokens, ensuring consistent accessible UI styling across light and dark. These tokens offer fine-grained control over text, background, and border colors. So when I see this, it's not, like when I read this, it's not clear to me at all what this means, especially because I feel like by default, this text, like this button is expecting a white text. So let me go to the button, I guess. Or let me scroll down a little bit here as well, just to get a sense of this first. Like this all seems very nice. I just don't understand how I, set my text color in order to get, like, I feel like it should already be dark, And the fact that it's not has me questioning the meaning of life. That's all. I'm a simple guy. Let me see what happens, for example, if I did do this, just so I understand. Let me get rid of that, and let's see, like, my sense is that nothing here will change. And just because I'm unsure, I don't think I need to restart here, but I want to eliminate that connection just in case it is there, and then I'm spending like half an hour or 2 hours or 10 hours trying to figure out why the text color is not dark. It's not that. So I'm just going to comment this out because I like that reference. And then let's actually get to the button here. Yeah, again, did not think I'd be spending. Oh, hello. I'm still on the theme page, right? Yeah, I am. You can override theme and components globally in app.config. Okay, well, what else do I have? So button slots base. What does that mean? Let's see, 1, 2, change. I don't know what that means. U button, color, neutral. Presumably the color is neutral here, but maybe, let's see. Okay. Let me try that where I'm using the U, not the U button. The U button, thank you. And it's really lock in answer. So I want to go into lock in answer and see if, so the color is primary. Well, I mean, no, so this is not it, but let me just see what happens when I do this. That's that. So this is just, the color is really the background, and I do want it to be primary, but I want my color on the primary to be dark. What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? You could also do this. So for quick test purposes, let me see if I can't come here and go class equals text dash neutral dash 900. Let's go this level first to see where we net out. Yeah, so more along the lines of what I'm expecting. Cool. So let me just get my head in gear and say, okay, if I wanted to configure that, that means I'm going to my app.config.ts. I'm going to button slots, and then what? What's here? Is it base? Let's see. Okay, let's just do it. App config UI button slots, UI button. Can I do this? So primary background is yellow. Text is, in fact, it's not brand yellow. It's primary, right? And this is neutral. And this here's also secondary. And this here's neutral. Maybe I don't need to define these at all. But let's see if this takes effect. And I believe it has. And to test that out, let's make this white. And now if I see the color change to white. No, I did this, so they're all being overwritten anyway. So let me get rid of that. Now it is white, but it was white anyway. So let me come back here, make this neutral. Let me restart in case. Even I know it said happens live with hot module reloading, but because I've never dealt with that file, I don't trust myself. So okay, so this did not do it. That's fine. Slots base. So let's actually go slots. This really wants me to use this primary secondary thing internally here. And so let's see if that makes a difference. Nope. And then now I can finally just follow the docs and BG brand yellow, yes. But I can just say text brand charcoal. I guess I could just do that and just see what happens here, right? Refresh. How about text neutral? 900. And that's it. That's all I want to convey. And let me just see. Yeah, this again. UI button slot space. UI button slot space. Text neutral, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it's being overridden, right? So I do need to, let's actually go to the button definition here and see if it has some theming documentation. And this is fine, right? Like I have not themed this at all. And once I understand that, at least, now I have a basis for how this works in the future. So variants, okay, primary. So compound variants. But what's the name of this variant? Solid, got it. Outline. Pro, soft, subtle, ghost, link. Oh wow. Okay. So we're talking about primary solid. And I don't, is there an easier way of doing this? So let me just see. For example, here, there's actually no text color defined. Let me try text primary to see whether that's sort of some kind of default up here somewhere. Let me do text dash again to see whether, so this is text size. This is text inverted. So I probably don't want the text inverted. Can I just, so let me see where this falls. Because I don't want to copy this entire thing, right? That'd be silly. So button slots, base, okay. And so this is the same level as base, compound variants. So presumably I would do this. And this is just AI giving me a heads up. So I got primary. I can, my variant's not primary, my color is primary. And my variant is solid. And can I just, let me actually just copy the entire thing. Why not? Get rid of that text inverted and see if this is good enough to give me a different button. I mean, it's not very clear to me that this is impacting anything at all in this button. So just to double check, I'm variant solid, I'm color primary. Again, like, I feel like I want to do something that's very simple, right? Like this is not some complicated, complex setup of getting this to work. And if anyone watching knows, please let me know what I'm missing. Do I need to define my own variants in order just to change? Like I changed the primary color. Now I want to, I don't want my text inverted tailwind. Oh, was it invert or inverted? Inverted. Why is this making me feel silly? Text inverted might be something that is being introduced by Noxt UI. Unclear. Okay, so let me just take a second here and think. What if I did the outline variant? Like, what does that start looking like? Yeah. Okay. So I don't want, my heart says don't spend too much more time on this because I'm not making enough progress for it to now make sense to be worth having spent this much time on. But again, the flip side is once I figure it out, then I know it. Then it's kind of in my back pocket. Okay. How about if I do this? Yeah, I don't even know what text converter does. So let me just say text neutral 900. No change there. Restart just in case, because I'm still not, because I haven't seen a case like this hasn't changed through any modification here, right? Like as I've done this, unless maybe I get rid of this and it changes right away. It has not. Now it has me thinking, oh no, it did. Okay, so if I undo, save, it is live. I will no longer be doing any restarts. Next UI, modifying variants. Default variants, variant subtle. It's not very helpful. Okay, yeah. I'll come back to this because it's gonna bother me the whole day, but let's go with, because it's like, this is fine because this is more incorrect, correct. But let's just come back because I have to change every single primary button, right? Like I have to change this button and that button and that button. Upsetting. One more shot. Primary, solid, class, this. Can I take the, because okay, sorry. Is there any guidance here? No guidance on like, hey, if you want to change one little detail, I'm waiting for readability, check the source. Okay, so no guidance. Compound variants. Copying the whole thing, and I'm saying, hey, what if I did something like, instead of BG primary, what if I did BG secondary? Would I see a change here? I do not. So this definitely is not being picked up. So it's not in slots, is it? Is that what I missed? So this is base. No, it's not in slots. It's a sibling of slots. And my mouse pointer is kind of helping me determine that. Default variance is color primary, variant solid. So if I don't pass in any information, is this. So am I simply to just create another variant called Lala and then use this Lala variant here? And this is what I should have done a while ago. Definitely I'm not seeing any BG secondary businesses. Color primary. What if I say color secondary here? No, and that's because of this, right? So, okay, type Lala is not assignable to these, which means, can I see? I just want to edit an existing variant, which I feel like you should allow me to do. And maybe that's in the themes. Oh, okay. I apologize. RStyle using the Tailwind Variants API, which provides a powerful way to create variants and manage component styles. Components in Next.UI can have multiple slots, each representing distinct HTML element within the component. These slots allow for flexible content insertion and styling. Let's take the card component. So we can style each slot here by having like the source theme card.ts. And then when we call it, it's internally, I believe, doing something like this so that it does this. So we don't have to do this. This is what this theme is doing. Okay, so this is, I feel like we might be close. And here, use variants to change slot styles based on proxy, an example of the avatar component. Okay, so I can say source themes avatar and variants size SM root. That's not like immediately. Oh, so variants have a size, and this is the definition. So if you're modifying the size, this is what will get modified. Not get modified, but I guess appended to this. So root then becomes the default styling of the root slot, which in a button is what? Let's find out. Okay, so Lala can go away. I can just go back to, whoops, what did I do here? Kind of go back to what I had before and even get rid of this here. So that's fine. And then this here did, what, slots? Yeah, I'm not sure if this is necessarily helpful. The only other thing that I might want to quickly try here before I move on is this. Like, what if because I never played with the slots down here in the theming. So here, it'll tell me the slots are leading, default, and trailing. Default being the main slot. But then it says slot base. Variants, button group, color, variant size. Yeah, not leading, default, trailing. So my thought would have been I go slots, leading, but that does not seem to be the situation. What if I did slots base and just did like text neutral 900. No cigar. So this is going out the window. And then my last resort, after which I will get back to coding the app, is this here, where, so avatar, let me load up avatar to see whether avatar legitimately has like a root slot. Yeah, so slots root. Buttons seem to have base and not root. Unless they do have root and the docs are wrong. Nope, no root. And base doesn't do anything for me either. So, okay, last resort again. So I take all of the definitions for base. This is just base. And then variants, color, primary, yeah, I'm not, maybe this is something I will have to do off stream, oddly enough. And I guess here's the type of thing that would be so simple to just do. Well, let's actually try this promise, right? You promised me that if I do something like this, the button's going to be bold. Is the button bold? Yes, that works. Which means that I'm not good enough. So slots works, but I want to modify a variant. So I'm at button slots. So should I be able to say button variants? And then I should be able to say, because it's not size based, it's color based. So I should be able to say this, and then I should be able to say BG secondary 900. No change here. But I'm saying variance primary. Sorry, I can't do that. I have to say variance color. And this is where the AI was misleading me. And now if I just, take what the AI is saying, I'm like 3 steps removed from what I wanted to do. Variance size SM. Variance color primary. Is a string. Now can I say BG secondary, for example? And this should, in theory, give me some confirmation that this is being used. No. Can I say, can I just make it empty? Can I say text neutral 900? No. Can I say text neutral 900 here? I cannot, because it's being overwritten, right? It's the primary thing is overriding. So variance color primary. So I guess if I go here, I can actually see the definitions somewhere. I did get to the definitions a second ago. There we go. Where's this? This is the button.ts, and it's showing me slots base. Oh, it's showing me the code. And if I go inverted, yeah, I mean, this is very confusing, at least for me, someone with my level of understanding and humanity is having a tough time figuring out what this does. Do I have to copy everything in order to make it work? Do I have to? I'm going to give this exactly 1 more minute. I keep persisting because I feel like I'm right on the edge of figuring it out, but every time I'm actually not. And then my frustration grows as that happens. I get more and more frustrated the more it doesn't work, and I keep being persistent, and my persistence leads to a greater sense of frustration. So I'm using size MD. What if I did this? What if I went back and I just modified the size variant? Like, let's see if there's some resolve here to. And what if I didn't do BG secondary? Instead, I did BG brand yellow 900. No. What if I did text X XS. No. What if I did text XS here? And I said, hey, this is the most important thing in the world. Yes. So what if I did color, variance on color with primary being the one, which is a string. Yeah, it's not whatever you're telling me. And I did text XS, like important. And then what if I did text to Excel? Is this my 2LG? LG? So it just means it's not picking up on this, right? It's not picking up. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, that was not going to work either. I thought for 1 second, maybe if I did something like it's what, like maybe I do need to do this. So I did text 3XL. Even though this is giving me an error, let's see if it actually just ends up working. No. So I can't modify. So I can do size base, but I can't modify the color on the variant. Can I modify? Oh, color primary. Okay. Can I modify the variant solid? This is it. This is my last attempt. Variant. And then here I go solid. And then here I say text 3XL. Just to maintain my sanity. We did see the button size change, right? I'm not losing my mind. Do I have to wait until that resolves? Oh, this stopped. It stopped working. And so if the changes were happening, they weren't happening with me. So now when I come back here and I say semi-bold, no change. If I say bold, I had to do a refresh. If I say semi-bold, come back here, it's loading. If I refresh, if I say normal, it's loading. If I refresh, now it is normal. Okay, all right. Variance, variant solid, text 3XL. I'm doing this because like text 3XL is a very apparent change that ought to be immediately visible if it is working. And it's not. Can I force it like this? Yes. Can I say text neutral 900 forced? Yes. No comments. What? No comments. This is probably not even the right way to do it. So now this I don't want to modify. I just want this, and we will live with this for now. Okay. Okay. Adding some brand colors. Sue me. Okay. Should that have taken a good part of 45 minutes? No, I'm stunned. Like, I don't, anyway. And some, no comments. If you ever ask yourselves, like, what's taking that dev so long? This would have been much simpler if I had built my own component library. I would know where to go and edit it and modify it. No problem, done. But then I wouldn't get the benefit of an entire library. Okay. I believe that the text color has changed here. I want it to be the darker version. But in earnest, I'm afraid to go somewhere and spend all this time just modifying this text color. So we're going to leave it. And now what I actually do want, and I'll build it in because I want it for myself visually, is I want to see the list of people, all of them, not just the ones next up and not just the ones. And I want to see the list of people, and I want to see their status, just all of them. And so right now where this B is, I'm just going to list them all here. It doesn't matter to me that I'm not looking at interface. This is just knowledge wise for me. So this is while we're playing the game. This is how I understand like who's in, who's out, what the counts are, and so on. Okay, let me just take a sip and regroup. List the players here, just so as I proceed through the game, I have a clear understanding. Walk in answer. This is the screen that it's in. I have a honeybee emoji. I can create a div here that will have a, let's say, an ordered list. And I'm just saving this to make sure that this works. Great. And I can get rid of this and say v-4 player in players. No, that's not what I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted. I mean, let's close that up. And do I have players? I do. And this is sort of what I wanted as I go along, so I have an understanding. So Nan is first. He is correct. And next up is Awesome Mary. And the whole theme has changed for some reason. Next up. No, that's just me. I never changed this. So color is not success, color is primary. Oh yeah, I was like, I'll do it later. But I'm not seeing those changes pop up. Color is primary here, and color is not primary here, but that's fine. What am I doing wrong? When I change this color to primary, let me just take a look at the lock-in button to see, be like, okay, icon, MD color is primary solid variant. So all of that seems legit to me. Has my server stopped working? No. Okay. One thought is, should I be storing like correct or not on each turn? But that's fine. Next up, Awesome Mary. I'll look at that button color later. Lock in the answer. Incorrect. And I would have expected this to have become... Okay, so this color is working now for some reason, but I would have expected this to have become inactive. It just means that on turn, maybe I'm not reloading the players. So I get the game as a starting point, and then when someone clicks next turn, I create the turn, I go to the turn page, and it seems like game ID doesn't change. It seems like game ID does not change. Round ID does not change, and turn number changes. So should I be one? And when turn number changes, is there a get turn here? Presumably it does get this turn, right? Because we're displaying turn data. And let's just confirm that. So when I say next up, but you're right. So I don't, it is happening on next up, but it's not happening on answer. So let's see what updates answer state. So this set answer state does it here. And I'm seeing one, my screen is flashing. Don't like that. Need to settle that. And then two, I'm seeing this, which I will not look at now. This is happening. This updates server side, but I'm not reloading my game. Right? And I don't want to think about this too much. I just want to do it like without again concern for anything. So let's see if this will let's see if AI will figure this out for me. And now my whole IDE is stuck. No, it's back. Where does it say async data? Should I here also say data loaded game in order for that type to be correct? Yeah. And this seems like this is a ref as well. So there's no way from, like, should I be using use query, or is there like some other call that I can make? I don't want something that's, can I just say query? And then this here doesn't work, which means I could probably do this, and then can I just call this loaded game? Perfect, because I don't want it to be reactive. I just give me the data. Let's not mess about. I can say that, and players.value gets updated, and then I can say game.value is loaded game. Just replacing things wholesale without any consideration, because at this stage, I just want to force my way through things working without having to think about it too much. Okay. So now when I say correct, or when I say incorrect, I would expect someone to be inactive right away, which did happen. Fantastic. And so now as I move through the turns, I have an idea of who's becoming active and inactive. And this thing over here is just for me. No more players left in this round, which means we're ready to go to the next round, but total players remaining is there. So maybe if I can have I don't know why the tabbing is weird for me. It'll start tabbing there. So I need to fix in my NeoVim config. But if I can have total player count, which is a computed value, total active player count, and maybe at some point I should just be getting this information from the server, but I'm also just comfortable getting it now, or just dealing with it here. So, and I'm going to just dump all this information here, and then I'll think about where it goes in the UI and aligning it. So here I can just say active players. This should tell me active players is 1. And I should also do this. That just happened to have looked the way it did. Okay. And now I can sort of relate to say, okay, when my active players is 0, do this. If I finish the round, I also kind of, and again, I'm just going to wholesale copy paste this with no shame into the round setup here. And then I'm going to wholesale copy the other details as well. So I get players, and let me get total active players from here into the round here. And I can just paste that here. And then that'll give me reason to extract all of these reactive variables into a composable perhaps, or something or the other. And I know I'm not using use query properly. Like my effective usage here is as if this is not reactive, because I think as the ID changes, or not as the ID changes, but like as this object changes somewhere, there should be some tracking based on the mutations and all that business, but I'm not familiar with that pattern yet. Okay. So I have my active players, and really, when there's just one active player at this stage, the game's over. So let me just go like the known case, right? The hard case where there's only one active player on the round. Like, should this auto redirect? Definitely there should be no start round 2 button. So we'll say v-if active, no, what was that? Variable was total active player count is greater than 1. Because if it's just 1, then you've won. And endgame is the only resolve we have. And when I click endgame, and I mean, here, this is a forced endgame scenario, but I think it's still worth it for me to do the clicked endgame scenario, the kind of the manual endgame scenario, because they result in the same flow anyway. So when you click endgame, the game should have ended. And then perhaps this can just go to the leaderboard. And maybe there's like game 5/leaderboard. Which means game ID / if I have leaderboard .view, is that good enough? Am I good enough? Let's just see what this does. Like, what what do you want? We're just gonna say this is the leaderboard, and here. I just want to see if this will work. It does, and maybe I can just copy in the template. Again here, lots of copy pasting, lots of just chugging our way through. So I'm going to copy all of what's in here and replace all of what's in here. And I know that there's a bunch of things that that don't make sense. And let me here take a look at what we have in the wireframes for this. So, and I won't design it exactly as it is here, you know, the center stuff. I won't care about certain aspects of this. And all I want to do is show the remaining active players for now. That's just the starting point. And then later on, I can start worrying about things like keeping track in each turn, how fast it was answered. Because right now I don't have a timer. I don't have any of that business happening. This is the leaderboard, you know, and I'm not even like having any consideration for sensibility at this stage, because all I'm doing is just populating this with data so that I can easily get what I need and display it, and then I'll worry about all those details later and kind of work my way through bit by bit. So I do have to do this. There's no more round at this stage, but there is a game. And then let me bring that as well. So I do need the route. I want the players. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously like there's so much copy paste here that this is definitely used for. Hey, Inoji, welcome back. If you haven't been here earlier, I did a lot of struggling on things I shouldn't have struggled on, to be honest, and it made me very sad. In my heart, I don't think I expressed sadness. So yeah, I am doing a lot of copy pasting key reason for composable, which I'll play around with as well here. And then iNoto honeybee. Is that I realize when I try and go and copy here, I end up clicking show and revealing the entire comment. So iNoto honeybee. Should I be looking into that? Is that the correct honeybee? And this does not look like an icon site to me. Oh, Noto emoji font. Got it. Which is probably the honeybee that, no, this looks very different. This honeybee, oh, is it this? Because this honeybee looks very different from this honeybee. And so that's fine. I just spent the first half, like I spent the first hour just trying to figure out how I can modify the colors on the base default color scheme here. And that took me a long time. Okay, so, all right, so I'm already getting the data here. And let me correct the spelling. Remaining players are, and it's showing active and inactive. So remaining players should only be the active ones. So along with this, I can have a const active players. And then here, yeah, I don't need all this. All of this goes away as well. And I don't need this. Oh, no, like the number of active players, that might be relevant later for me. And then here I have active players. And that should just show me. And that's the starting point of my leaderboard where I have a forced ending to a game. Now I need to connect the end game button to lead us here at any point in the game, really, right? Anytime a round finishes, you should just be able to decide. Yeah, that's a good idea. How would you recommend I do it in the sense like, you know how I keep entering like the names here? I feel like for test purposes, I should, because I still like, I don't want to skip the screen. So should I just have a button here that gives me fake player names? I kind of like that. And I think Faker, I wonder if Faker also will generate adjectives for me, like random adjectives. By the way, I'm a big fan of building in like visual testability into apps. Like, you know, maybe you press a secret code or like you double click tips and then it reveals the test interface. And then, but for now I can just have a generate players buttons. I don't dislike that, honestly, because I don't dislike kind of getting into that right now because it'll only help me down the road. So while it seems like a distraction, it's actually relevant because it'll save time as I go forward. So person, commerce localization, browse API. Yep. Do they just have one for like words? And do they have like an adjective? Yes. But can I, you know, I do want to start generating the adjectives. That will be fun. But my mild concern here is that is for the children. If if it's pungent and slimy, then like, what does that mean? You know, like I want nice adjectives only. And I also don't want any like suggestive, let's just say adjectives either. Tattered. I'm sorry, I'm just having fun here for now. Okay, but let me see if I can hook this up at the starting point. Maybe pick an animal instead. Thank you. And yes, there are others, but I ideally just wanted like an adjective, like, because I want to place that adjective near the person's name. I wonder if there's anything else here. Yeah, these are just like random words. I'll go with the adjective for now, like, it's too bad. Just trying to see here. Returns any of the closest words to the given length. So this is all length based. That's fine. Who cares? They're only children, right? They don't have feelings. What does strategy fail mean again? Throws an error if no words. I like picking animals if I was to use that animal name to generate an icon for them, which we can probably do. So let me go on Iconify, as you specified earlier, and maybe even look for the Noto. No, you're not going to give me that here. Icons. Noto emoji set, and just see, like, it's cute. I mean, I presume that any animal generated by the faker code will be available here. I think that's good enough for me to get started. And then I could figure out the other details later. Interesting. Do I want dev? I actually don't want this in dev. I want this in. Is there a search in the upper right corner that I missed? Okay, that's fine. Let me get faker, not as like a dev library, but as an actual library that I'm using for Rails. And if I do this, I suppose it's both available to me in the UI, like in the front end and in the back end, I think. Let's see. And then let me start off by using animals. So let's get faker dot animal dot blah, right? So faker dot animal dot bear. What? What? I know I keep saying what, but my expectation was like, oh, I want randomizer. No. Oh, no. So I just want a random animal. Maybe I could just do faker.animal as a function. Just want to see here if there's like a random. Oh, type. And I'm hoping each of these have sorry, yeah, thanks for the detailed description here. Search icons. And then I can quickly just see whether, like, so shark I would expect it would be present, but like flamingo, let's just see, because it'd be nice if all of them were just available, right? Okay, didn't want that. It seems like they are. This is not a flamingo, but I'm just trying to see. So Noto does seem to have like it does seem to have majority of the icon set, it seems. I'm hoping that it can be randomized without needing to be like specified explicitly. But I might need to import the library. Oh, let's find out, right? Why am I using words for my mouth? Okay, so I will want to generate this and store it in the icon field at the time that I am creating a player. So this would happen in the back end. And this would happen with create game. That's when the players actually get created. And while it seems like I can pass in an icon here, what I'll do is if no icon was passed and no adjective was passed, I'll make it dynamically generated or randomly generated. So here in this or, I should be able to say something like this. Right, and then same thing for the adjective. Let's see if AI picks it up. It does. And then let me quickly test to see whether this altogether gets picked up just by creating no, sorry, Henoji. There we go. You will now be a player and you will have an icon and an adjective randomly generated for you. No, we're still awesome. Oh, maybe I hard-coded this in somewhere, right? Because I was like, let me just hard-code that in. So I am passing an adjective in, hard-coded. I don't want that. So let's try again. Adnan, Mary, Hinoji. I don't get anything here. So it seems like I need to, of course, restart my server because I installed a new package and I did not restart my server. That may be the reason, but it might be another reason. So let me go. Oh, no, here. No, that's right. In that screen, actually, nothing happens. So Adnan, Mary, this screen is fine. When I start game, that's when the adjectives have popped in. So that is working. And then in get game, I can kind of just verify here whether that is in fact the case. And we have icons as well. And yeah, I mean, this is not progressing functionality, but it is progressing fun, which is, and fun is a huge part of functionality. So what we'll do is I might just make like a avatar type thing here, using the emoji. And it turns out there is an avatar component here, and I wonder what that looks like. So I have to pass it a source. Can I pass it an icon? I can pass it an icon, and that just becomes an avatar. And maybe I can have a player avatar component that I can use to display, at least for now, right? I mean, we have other ideas. Ultimately, we discuss other ideas on how to display players. But for now, like when there's like a player here kind of thing, because I'm still not, Mary had put, this together where, basically even some of my ideas I was just throwing around. And we did find some difficulty in this UI of like, hey, how are we going to get everything together? But here, I feel like we can actually figure out this step later, but I wouldn't mind just getting some niceties in the UI at this stage, especially because I was mucking about trying to find how to change the text color here. So this would be nice, right? So let me see. Bring up the next player. And here I've just been copy pasting this business. So let's see if I can't now add components / testme.view. And then with testme.view, I just want to have a template that says, no, that just says test me, because I just want, this is my first component in this library. I just want to make sure that the directories and everything work. So I don't spend like 8 hours debugging why this component isn't showing. So it is showing, and now I can say something like player avatar. And maybe this doesn't make sense for now, but I'm happy with avatar, right? Avatar, not avatar. Avatar. And I can just copy that for now. I will always assume that the player exists. And we will redefine the file, and we'll go ahead and define the, define the script. And I feel like I'm going to need props here. So const player. And the way to do it with TypeScript is actually define the type here. Actually, I do need to just, okay, because I used a template. I do need to, let me just get back into here. And this is where, as a crutch now, you know, like all the boilerplate stuff is leaving my head slowly, because I kind of just rely on the AI to, so I'll have a general sense, of course, but I will now rely on like the AI to give me what works here. So I'm pulling up name, icon, and adjective. And now, you know, this is also a good kind of place for me to type player out. And then maybe I can also I'm trying to see where that fits in, because it's not like okay, can I just have like a types file in root? Types.ts, which is like, you know, because maybe these types are relevant. I'm trying to think like these. Okay, so the problem is I have some server types, which I think I can actually because okay, no, so oh no, these are all types. So theoretically, I should be able to use these types as they are here on the front end, right? So when I do player, I have a player type already. Does this need any redefining? Like it has everything that we need. Okay, so let me see if that works actually, right? Like not from types this, but from like server DB types. Is this a just get rid of that. And that's that. And I don't know whether this will work precisely, but I don't have to store the props. right? If I want an ambient types, but it seems like I already have the types here, and I don't have to store the props in a variable if I only use it in the template. Oh, yeah. So sorry, I ended up removing the props. Yeah, absolutely. But I do want to define it. That makes sense. Is it a boundary violation? Because the DB types are all like, this is what it's getting from Keasley. Just it's in the package, but it's only pulling the types, which means it's only there in dev. When it gets compiled, the types are gone. So does it matter? I don't know, but I'm happy with this for now. Given the messy state of like how I'm coding this and moving along with it, this is very in line with something I would do. So in my player avatar, if there is an icon, player.icon, then I want icon to be Noto. Thanks, Synology, for oh no, like this is what I don't like about auto, because I like saving over and over, and it just got rid of my templated string there. And I want to do player.icon here if that icon exists. And so once I go back, and it may be the case that icon exists, and let me just like oh wow, yeah, I guess that's possible as well. But here I just want to actually display the icon so that I can just see that an icon is present. And it seems like an icon is not present here in the database, right? And I can also output the icon here had I wanted. But yeah, seems to me like, no, wait a minute. Did I not, we did the whole thing here. So let me, in this pre for this game page, actually display, this is game ID round. So this is game round. Game ID, round ID index. And here, just for my, oops, I can just dump the entire players. So I'm not like running back and forth. So now I'm not sure why player.icon is not showing up. Oh, it is. So it seems like I've been having general reloading issues, unfortunately. That's fine. Okay, so now I can come back here and just get rid of this. And for some reason, this doesn't like, undefined is not assignable to type. I think because I generated my own types, right? So it's like, ugh, it's not. But yeah, it might be the case that when I renamed the file, I didn't like it, and the reload didn't work properly, but we made it through. So now I can actually get rid of that. I have an icon here. I won't style it, but now that we have sort of these things randomly generated, hopefully that's just injecting a little bit of randomness and funness into the game. At least as we're building it, it's purely for myself actually. And here I should be able to say player. And no, this is not really undefined at any point because it's an empty array. Oops. Yeah, and we'll take care of that later. And let's import player from the server types. And I think that this should just work now because I don't need to have to specify all of this business. No, it doesn't like it because undefined is not assignable to something. Something and something is undefined here. Oh, Ah, right. So so I should just do or empty array. No. So now I have another issue. So this is not the same issue that I was seeing before. And if this doesn't resolve itself, I will just force it. The player ref will actually just be a simple object, but I'm actually noticing like all of these are enforced, right? Except for this and this. This is undefined null, but the rest of them are kind of enforced. But that should be fine because the types are coming straight from the database, right? So these types should actually they're literally the same types. There's actually no difference. Oh no, there is a difference. Having just said that, because when I look here, I see created at is like date. I could do partial player, but I'm also seeing created at is date, and then like partial player seems like the wrong thing because I'm just getting the entire player object from the database. So there should be actually no cases where this is partial, I think. Might be wrong. But here, and I wish these error messages, like even in this Vim window, I just want to like, how is this? This is not legible. Type blah is not assignable to type blah, and is just created at is string and updated at is string, whereas here it's date. I'm not sure where that's emerging, like where. So in player, the created at is date, and then so player is expecting date, right? And it just means this is string when it comes from the database. Because when I do GD here, the problem is it's date here. Oh, of course. Okay, this is just me kind of figuring this out because the case here is that when it goes over HTTP, there's no data object. So even though, here, no, I can't actually get to the type here. So let me actually get, and here's the sort of the gotcha of trying to use the exact same type, right? Is here the column is like a date, but when it goes through HTTP, it's actually just a string. And so because all of these become their more primitive versions, but really I'm only using primitives all the way through except for these columns. So just trying to think whether there's like a type player. I'm trying to think if there's like a, I don't know what to call it, type player display. I know this is like disgusting, but and then yeah, I mean we don't. I guess we want to. Can I omit and then and as there's probably maybe I don't even need to do maybe I don't even need to do the omit here, but like I imagine something like this, right? Because what am I doing wrong? Oh, okay. So sorry, I read this and I was like confused, but this ultimately is doing the right thing. So instead of using player, do I use player display? And then, or like player front end? I don't know. Let's see. So this is fine here. And then if I go into here, I still have the error. So there might be other values. Number ID, game ID, name. It'd be nice if it just told me like what they were, right? So maybe this whole dream of the front end and back end typing is player display. What's different then? So let me actually just come down here and copy this line so that it's available to me here, so that when I do this, is not assignable to player display. So this is the original one, and then player display has number, game ID, name, icon, number, game ID, name, icon is string, null, undefined. Right, I could try, but then I'd have to say satisfies here. Is that satisfies player display? Isn't like it because maybe this is not the proper use. Oh no, so this is satisfies. You know what? I'm not satisfied. That's the real problem. Okay. It just says not assignable to player display, but it's not telling me like, oh, here's the. I would have liked that. Like again, like, I'm just trying to get work done here. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be the typing god. So I'm confused. Like icon, adjective. I don't know why I'm yelling. Okay, let's try. So here, yeah, I even have like this question mark business here, which makes this or undefined, and those are equivalent. So it doesn't seem like that could be the case. Created at, we've omitted and we've added. What if we just icon, adjective, state is active and active. Like all of these types are coming from the server. Okay, one last stitch here to sort of effort here. So number, gotcha, ID, gotcha, game ID, got it, name is string, icon is yep, state is yep. They're coming from the same source apart from this. The only other thing that I can foresee being an issue is this generated number business, right? So let's actually get that in here. And maybe this is it, and maybe this becomes a pattern for me. Why don't you like? Oh, yeah. I always do this. I always add a comma. The ref, you're saying that the ref adds undefined, but like it can't be undefined. No, because this is ref, so dot value, and then it'll either be this. What am I reading here? Player display array or this? But where is it getting this from? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, this is like there's two things that you could dump in there. What if I did Yeah, still the same error. I don't want to live here. I don't want to live in this error. So sue me, okay? I don't want to do that either. So I'll just live with this for now. I don't care. Sue me. I'll like, can you like imagine? Import ref from view will do the same thing. It's all Nuxt gets it already, so you don't have to, I don't think, do this. Unless I might be wrong here, but like it won't change the nature of this, unfortunately. I realize I don't even have to shouldn't necessarily do even the as here, but that's fine. Again, in all of that, I even forgot what I was trying to do here. So all I really want at this stage is I want to click end game and go to the end game. Okay. I want to end the game at click. Okay, so I don't want everything in here. So end game. I'm out here just trying to do something simple, and then the typing is just like sucking my time away. End game, and then I can kind of define it here. Let's just get done the main part first. Function end game, and this really is a redirect to leaderboard. And right now, it doesn't even have to be any more complicated than this. I don't have to indicate in the database that the game has ended or any of that business right now, because all this is like the leaderboard just displays the state of the game as it is. Right? And so the game could be in any state, doesn't matter. All these players can be active, it doesn't matter. It's simply showing me the remaining players, which means I can actually go back and continue with my game, which I don't hate either. Like, hey, this is the state we're at. The game has kind of incidentally ended, but there's no official ending to a game yet, unless we need it later on. So I'm going to eliminate myself, and I'm inactive now. I'm going to get Mary, compassionate Mary. She like that. Correct. What? Why is this? I'm in the turn. Sorry. Yeah. So let me actually fix that. I got one of my next ups. Next up. Here, I have 2 buttons. Oh yeah. This is just me having duplicated code and then being upset that it's not doing what I want. So I want this to be primary, and this is correct. And then next up, so Hinoji comes up, and we lock in the answer, and he is correct. And now I finish round, and we're like, I'm tired. We're done. We end the game, and now it's showing me the active players. It's not showing me none. It's showing me just the active players, and then I have this working. I'm just going to take a sip here. I don't know how much of like opening this and how the sound travels, or like me glugging as well. Does that transfer? Should I just stay entirely dehydrated throughout a stream? Okay. Honestly, this is like, I didn't want to even make it too much more complex than that. Because the next step is for me to record the time, and then and maybe I don't want to get, like, I spend the first hour of the stream just trying to fix the colors on the buttons. So maybe I'll come back tomorrow. But for now, I do want to do a couple of things just for funsies. Let's go back into our game. And here, and maybe tomorrow, actually, I'll probably end up doing a bunch of refactoring as well. This is a good point to be like, I'm copy pasting. There's a lot here that can be condensed. And this is a good time because now I'm running into situations where, like, I'll change one place and I'll think it was this. And So it's actually the right time, right? If I spend too much time refactoring early on, then I'm not progressing in my game logic. So in this case, all I want to do is change this particular font. I'm only going to give this 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes, because it's not worth spending an hour. Fonts. Font sans. Fonts false. And here, will it tell me like next fonts? Fonts.next. So introduce next fonts for plug-and-play optimization. Fonts free, there's no additional setup required to use a font in your next year library. You simply declare it in your CSS. It will automatically be loaded and optimized for you. Public sans, where is it coming from? Is it a Google font? It is a Google font, so it's just working, allegedly. So let's see if let's actually hold that to the test. I won't like go look at the Xer. I'll just try out what you're promising me. So we'll go here, and in my theme section, in my main.css, let me just take a look at the time. Allegedly, I should be able to accomplish this in the 5 minutes. So it'll be sans here. It'll just be font, because here's what Mary ended up using. My suggestion was school bell. So I'll just call it what it is. We won't, we won't get fancy here. So you're telling me I can just font school bell on a div or whatever, and it will just do the right thing? I will be delighted if that were the case. So here I would be on my turn page, and here my question is here. So I should just be able to say font dash school bell, and it came up as a constant, right? So let me just show that again. It came up as a constant in my LSP autocomplete, which is getting this information from the Tailwind LSP helper, which should mean that it's all connected, and it should mean that it is working. Nice. I like it. Okay, so I'm happy to stop here for now because I've done a bunch of disparate things. What I will do next time, maybe tomorrow, and one of the reasons I want to keep going is I have been trying to stream. I was streaming maybe 2.5 years ago, not daily, but I was just streaming on and off, just randomly, as the name of the channel indicates. And I was doing a variety of different things, whatever I kind of felt like learning. And then I stopped. And then the last year, every week I told myself, this week I'm going to stream, this week I'm going to stream. And I never did it. And then Mary and I decided to do this kind of honeypot app. And we streamed the first kind of week once the next week. And then we had enough kind of design work done. And Mary had done like design work off stream as well. And I felt like, hey, I need to reciprocate by like getting to it. And kind of instilled an energy in me, but and I'm afraid of losing that energy. And so I've been like streaming every day. Because it's so, while it's, like it's hard to kind of come to a stream, but it's so easy to just stop. Like, it's not so much that I can't stop. I'm afraid that if I stop, then I might not continue. Like I might lose that energy. And so I'd rather expend it while I have it. So that's sort of why I'm trying to do as much as possible, like a couple hours a day, right? I'm not accomplishing anything great with my life anyway, so this seems just fine. While I'm here, can I? Yeah, sorry, it's already for Excel. And that was nice of Tailwind to just be like, hey, what are you doing? I don't like that flash of unstyled content that comes up here, but again, stuff for later. So tomorrow I'm gonna hopefully, if it is tomorrow, it might not be, but if it is tomorrow, I'm gonna try and come back and do some subtle refactoring of all this copy pasting business I've been doing. And then, like Hinoji suggested, I'm gonna, while I've generated like the adjectives and this, I'll create a name here with generally random list of players, so I don't have to like on every test cycle type it out, you know? Even that's not a big deal, but it's just a nice starter. Yes, I agree. Consistency is better than perfection for sure. Like, I feel like also I've wasted a lot of time, quote unquote, on like, getting the color right or the refactoring with the database. But ultimately, I'm content with the overall progress because like there'll be some issues I run into which I have no idea how to resolve. And I'll make progress slowly, and that's good enough for me. Like I'm actually content with the progress I've made here on like, a couple hours a day. So hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed, I'll see you. And thanks for joining me again for this in-between session of Product Like It's Friday, even though it's Saturday. And by the way, I'll add one more thing. And I was talking about this with Mary, is I would actually, at some point, I want to take my energy and also kind of start working on some other projects from time to time. Maybe after I get Honeypot to like a satisfactory state. There's a few other projects I want to work on. One of them being like I wrote pretty much like a Vim book from like, going from zero to being proficient enough, not like an expert, but just proficient. I would love to get back to the book, get it updated because, plugins change this and that. And then stream kind of end to end, like setting up your Vim config and like Vim certain, really NeoVim config and NeoVim functionality. And then the other one is like a chess trainer app because I've been trying to learn how to play chess for the last few years and I'm embarrassed at how bad I am. And hopefully I can build myself a trainer. I know trainers exist out there. I just want to build it myself. Having that said, thanks for joining me on this session again. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Good day.